Hi, Wally Helk again, talking about think, behave, improve. How does an optimal leader think, behave, and improve their system and their employees and themselves as well? How do you know when you should give feedback? How do you know? How do you know? What I'm suggesting is the role that you want to play is to be a supportive reporter. What do I mean by that? Well, ever since Adobe, GE, Microsoft, Accenture, Deloitte, SAP, they all decided to radically change their performance management processes. HR experts have been touting we must give people more feedback, more frequent, less formal feedback. Okay, fine. When? That's my question. When? How do you know? And does an effective manager even know when? And furthermore, uh, do you know what feedback to give? Now, I'm putting aside right now how to give the feedback. That's a whole separate skill. But just when and what? Those are important questions to answer, aren't they? Imagine you're a weather prognosticator, meteorologist, okay? You call for rain, but it doesn't rain. Should your boss give you feedback? Wouldn't you already know that that's a mistake? Would your boss's feedback actually help you to learn to do something new? If not, then what's the purpose of that feedback? Wait a minute. Did you lie? Did you make something up? Do meteorologists lie? Well, I don't know. Here in the Northeast, sometimes it seems like they exaggerate, especially when there's going to be a snowstorm, right? They talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Sure enough, everybody runs to the grocery store the day before and cleans out the shelves of milk and instant oatmeal and water. But it's unlikely that they lie. So if they don't lie, if meteorologists don't lie, then what is the root cause of that mistake? What's the root cause of them predicting rain and not having it, predicting snow and not getting it, predicting a foot of snow and getting 1 inch? Was it the computer model? Was it the data used to enter into the computer model? Maybe they don't even know what the root cause is. In my opinion, there are two clear situations that can trigger feedback. And these triggers must be followed if you're going to build and maintain trust and help people to learn. The first is when integrity is broken. The second is when there's a process with too much variation. So when people break their promises, break their agreements, they damage performance not just for themselves, but for others as well. Broken agreements require immediate feedback. An agreement is like a promise. It's a specific, time-sensitive task where you have a predictable process to achieve that task. For example, delivering information completely and on time can be considered an agreement. Arriving on time to a meeting can be considered an agreement. It assumes that you know how to get there. It assumes that you know how you're going to get there, and that you know how much time it's going to take you to get there so you can get there on time. In an organization, people are interdependent, right? They're interdependent. That means they depend on one another. So if one person expects something from another, if one person expects an agreement or promise from another, they don't get it, that person's performance is going to suffer as well. If the meteorologist expected new data from an affiliate, didn't get it on time, and the quality of their prediction suffered, it's the affiliate that broke the agreement, not the meteorologist, not the weatherman. The affiliate then needs feedback to prevent that from happening again. Keep your promises. Manage your agreements. Anytime an agreement is broken, there's an immediate opportunity for feedback. That's the trigger that managers should use, not just managers. That's the trigger every employee should use, even with managers. In fact, an apology from the offender might also be appropriate, and a discussion centered around how to improve that so-called predictable process to make sure that agreement is kept in the future. This past Sunday was supposed to be the lecture at church. It was not in my schedule. I put everything in my phone, everything on my computer wasn't in there. Somehow I made a mistake. I misread the schedule. I didn't put it in there. I don't understand how. I really don't understand how. I just missed it. Doesn't that ever happen to you? A friend of mine had to stand in for me at the very last minute. I had no idea I'd made a mistake. She called me afterwards and she made fun. You know, we laughed about it. She was loving and caring and funny in her feedback. We laughed. I laughed at myself. I felt badly, but I really just missed it. We need to be sure employees are aware that you're aware that they broke an agreement. That's where the learning happens. Because once I realized that I made a mistake, I immediately went back, checked the schedule. I made sure that that didn't happen again. She didn't have to ask me to do that. I felt badly enough that I did it on my own. Be a supportive reporter and coach for their integrity. Help them if they need help. 99% of the time, they don't do it on purpose, which means trying to explain to them what they need to do differently. They'll figure it out. Let them figure it out because they're the ones that have to keep the agreement anyway. That's what my friend at church did. She was a supportive reporter of a broken agreement. The second reason to give feedback is when a process needs improvement. This is a bit more complicated. It often requires the use of quality improvement tools. It can be done. So when integrity is broken, when the process needs fixing, these are the two triggers. Don't miss the opportunity. Anything else can be interpreted as either micromanagement or bullying. Don't let that happen. Be a supportive reporter instead. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.